Hello and welcome to my channel. In today's video, I'm going to talk about what mainly is geography and its branches. And specifically, I'm going to talk about human geography because we are going to deal about the different aspects of human geography and what are the different topics which are covered under human geography. So, when we talk about geography, the study of geography is basically the study about the earth. It's a science because it's very systematic, it's organized, and also based upon both theory as well as practical studies. So, geography basically deals about the lands, the physical features of the earth, the inhabitants, the culture, the phenomena which are all happening on the earth's surface. So, between a time period of 276 to 194 BC, that is before Christ, there was a Greek philosopher and scholar called Eratosthenes of Cyrene, and he was the first person who used the word geography. He also believed that the earth was not flat but circular in structure and also measured the circumference of the earth. He was the first person to have spoken about latitudes and longitudes and also presented a map of a known world, thereby becoming the father of geography. तो अगर हम ज्योग्राफी को डिवाइड करेंगे तो बेसिकली हम उसको दो ब्रांचेस में ब्रॉडली डिवाइड करते हैं. एक है ह्यूमन ज्योग्राफी और दूसरा है फिज़िकल ज्योग्राफी. अब फिज़िकल ज्योग्राफी जो इनिशियली डिस्कवर हुआ था, जो हम कंसिडर करते थे ज्योग्राफी, वो बेसिकली है कि जो भी फिज़िकल फीचर्स होते हैं, लैंड फॉर्म्स होते हैं, रिवर्स, क्लाइमेटिक कंडीशंस, टेम्परेचर, विंड, ओशन करंट्स, तो जो भी हम फिज़िकल फीचर्स जो अर्थ के बारे में हम पढ़ते हैं वो फिज़िकल ज्योग्राफी होती है. और ह्यूमन ज्योग्राफी एक ऐसा ब्रांच है जो कि न्यू ब्रांच है ज्योग्राफी का. उसमें हम ह्यूमन बींग्स को भी इम्पोर्टेंस देते हैं और इन्वायरमेंट और ह्यूमन बींग्स के बीच में जो रिलेशनशिप है उसके बारे में हम पढ़ते हैं. बिकॉज ह्यूमन बींग्स एक बहुत इंपॉर्टेंट फैक्टर है जो कि हमारे फिज़िकल फीचर्स या अर्थ को भी चेंज कर देता है. तो इसीलिए ह्यूमन geography बहुत ही ज़्यादा important है. So when we are talking about the physical geography, which is a very important and main branch of geography, it deals with the physical aspects of geography, including the environment in which you are living in. The environment means the surroundings, that is the climatic conditions, the temperature, the soil, the flora, the fauna, the inhabitants. So anything which is surrounding you as a living organism, that is called as your environment. So when we are dealing with the environment, when we are dealing with everything related to the earth, that is the physical feature and the physical aspects of the earth, that is called as physical geography. Now there is this another aspect of geography which is completely based upon human beings, because human beings are an important part of the environment. So it is the study of human beings and their relationship with the natural environment, the environment and the surroundings that we live in. So all kinds of economies, when we talk about trade, transport, communication, the different nations, the different governments, communications between one country and its neighboring countries, and what are the occupations, agriculture, manufacturing, mining, trade, etc. So it is a very wide topic. And of course, in the beginning, we talk about how human beings are influenced by their physical environment and how themselves they can change the physical environment and mold it according to their needs and requirements. Since human beings are an intelligent being, they are more intelligent than other animals which you see around. And through the skills and intelligence and technical understanding, human beings can, of course, change the environment, change the surroundings, can transform resources into finished products. So we manufacture new products, we have more technical know how. Thus, when we relate the earth with the concept of human beings, it is called as human geography. So, right from the early development of man, when man was a primitive and hunter as well as gatherer, then he started doing agriculture, transporting goods and services, started domesticating animals, and also started owning houses and fields, and made roads and various kinds of developments, as well as made factories and industries. And now, because man has become highly advanced, and through its advancements, it is also changing the physical environment and causing a lot of pollution, degradation of land, and all the natural disasters are happening because of too much anthropogenetic or human activities. All this is a part of human geography. So, it is a wide subject which can be further divided into subfields. So, we talk about animal geography, which are the animals which are domesticated by human beings for their requirements or used by human beings. Or we have got cultural geography, in which we talk about the different cultures and the different livelihood, how they live. Then we have got health geography, then language geography, then we have got social geography, historical geography about the past, and also economic geography about the economic activities like agriculture, mining, manufacturing, all these things. As well as we have tourism geography, which talks about tourist places. So it includes all the activities which human beings have, like agriculture, industry, international trade, transport and communication, about social life and cultural geography, about the political aspects of geography. So all these are the different branches of geography. There are mainly three schools of thoughts of human geography based upon which we study human geography. In the initial or the early times, there was the concept of environmental determinism, where the environment was the core for the study of human geography. Core means that they believed that human beings and their life, as well as the culture, all depends upon the environment which we live in. So, environmental determinism refers to the idea that everything which is happening in human life is caused inevitably by the natural environment or is largely affected by its environmental conditions. तो इसका मतलब है कि जो हमारा इन्वायरमेंट है उसका बहुत इम्पोर्टेंट रोल है या फिर उसका की एंड वाइटल इन्फ्लुएंस है ह्यूमन बींग्स की लाइफ के ऊपर, बिकॉज अकॉर्डिंग टू इन्वायरमेंटल डिटर्मिनिज्म, जिसको हम इन्वायरमेंटलिज्म भी कहते हैं, वो बेसिकली ये है कि इन्वायरमेंट का हमारे लाइफ में काफ़ी इन्फ्लुएंस होता है। तो ये काफ़ी ओल्ड कॉन्सेप्ट है, वर्ल्ड वॉर 2 से पहले का ये फ़िलॉसफी है। तो ये पॉइंट काफ़ी वैलिड भी है। अगर हम प्रिमिटिव ह्यूमन बींग्स को देखते हैं तो उनका जो लाइफस्टाइल था, हंटिंग, गैदरिंग, कलेक्शन ऑफ फूड, नोमैडिक लाइफ, तो वो जितना भी लाइफस्टाइल था वो सब इन्वायरमेंट पे डिपेंडेंट था। तो इन्वायरमेंट वॉज प्लेइंग अ वेरी इंपॉर्टेंट एंड की रोल इन shaping the life of human beings, especially the ones which were primitive in ancient times. So, this also ensures and implies that the history, culture, and mode of life and the level of development of the societies and the countries, they are largely controlled by the physical environment. तो जो भी हमारे सोसाइटी में डेवलपमेंट्स हुए हैं या फिर जो भी हमारा कल्चर रहा है, फूड कल्चर रहा है, या फिर जो हम पहनते हैं, जैसे हमारे घर होते हैं, काफ़ी वो डिपेंडेंट होता है इन्वायरमेंट के ऊपर। अगर हम डेजर्ट में जाते हैं तो वहाँ पे अलग टाइप के घर मिलते हैं, लोगों की लाइफस्टाइल अलग होता है, उनके बात करने का तरीका, खाने पीने का तरीका, एवरीथिंग इज़ डिफरेंट। लेकिन अगर हम आर्कटिक रीजन में जाते हैं, वहाँ पे भी हमको एक डिफरेंट लाइफस्टाइल देखने को मिलता है। So, when we talk about the development of geography, we go back to the ancient classical period when the Greek and Roman geographers were the ones which were very flourishing and they had contributed a lot in the field of geography. And especially scholars like Hippocrates, Aristotle, and Strabo, they are called as the pioneers of geography, and they had also believed in the concept of environmental determinism, that the environment plays a very dominant role and much of our culture and our nature, even the human nature, is also dependent upon the environmental conditions. So, Hippocrates, he was the father of modern medicine. He was an ancient Greek physician, and he also believed in environmental determinism. He believed that the Asiatics, the people who live in Asia, they are they have got very favorable environment. So they are mostly happy and intelligent people and very flourishing. Whereas the Europeans, they are very poor because of the harsh environmental conditions. In those days, Europe used to be very poor, and of course they did not have much agriculture and economy. Now we talk about Aristotle. He was another Greek philosopher, and he was also known as the father of logic. So he believed that the people of Asia, they are, they're intelligent, but they lack spirit. They are not brave and they are not courageous, according to him, because of the heat of this region, because of the higher temperatures. Whereas if you go to colder regions like in Europe, the weather conditions are more favorable. According to him, it was the cold temperatures which are more favorable. That is why people are more brave, they are more high spirited, and that is why, the people of Asia, they were subjected to slavery by the Europeans. So at the time of Aristotle, Europe started exploring new places and started exploring and navigating and found better opportunities, and they were the ones which were free from the others, whereas the countries of Asia and Africa, they were under the dominance of European countries. Now we talk about Strabo. He was a Roman philosopher, and he believed that the physical factors like the relief of any region, the landform, the slope, the shape of any region, the climatic conditions depend upon or influences the rise of any region or the growth of any region. So he specifically spoke about the Roman Empire, that because of the position of the Roman Empire, because of its climatic conditions, it flourished and it grew so much. Now, what happened was in the Middle Ages, when there was the beginning of the dark period or dark age. So, when the Arabs came into power and there was a decline of the Roman Empire, so there was a total, according to the Europeans, there was a total decline of economic, intellectual, and cultural welfare. So, everything came to a decline. There was no new knowledge or innovation which was introduced at this time or period. But there were some eminent theorists and thinkers at that time, like Al Masudi, Al Biruni, Ibn Battuta, Ibn Khaldun. All these people, they had contributed a lot in the field of geography, and they were also firm believers of environmental determinism. So most of the Arab geographers were in favor of environmental determinism, and they believe that the environment plays a very important and dominant role. So, at the beginning of the 15th century, the Renaissance period began. In this period, there were a lot of explorations, new discoveries, as well as voyages to new places. Americas were discovered, as well as a new route towards India was explored. So, a lot of expeditions were carried out. So, these people also believed in environmental determinism. They had founded out new information about the world, and they saw that different regions having different climatic conditions, the weather conditions, and human culture largely depends upon the environment. In the Renaissance period, there was a lot of development of architecture, then literature, art, science, and philosophy. So there was a renovation of all the ancient thinking being changed into modern thinking. Now we talk about the advocates of environmental determinism in the modern era. In the 19th century, there were the supporters like Alexander von Humboldt and Karl Ritter. They were the founders of modern geography. And Humboldt was basically a scientist, and he viewed determinism in a scientific way. And he said that being a determinist, he believed that there is a very important and real association between the natural environment and between any organism or human beings, as well as flora and fauna. Carl Ritter also believed that human character is very much related to the environmental conditions in which they live in. So, environment has a very important influence in human life. अब हम बात करेंगे पॉसिबलिज्म, जो कि एक और स्कूल ऑफ थॉट है ह्यूमन ज्योग्राफी का। और इसमें बेसिकली ये है कि ये इन्वायरमेंटल डिटर्मिनिज्म के ऑपोजिट में बात करता है। इट्स अ रिएक्शन टू इन्वायरमेंटल डिटर्मिनिज्म। पॉसिबलिज्म का जो बेस है वो ये है कि इन्वायरमेंट हमको कंडीशंस देते हैं, हमको रिसोर्सेज देते हैं, बट वो सारे लिमिट्स में होते हैं या फिर उसको हमको कन्वर्ट करना पड़ता है फिनिश प्रोडक्ट्स में। तो काफ़ी कंस्ट्रेंट्स भी होते हैं, लिमिटेशंस होते हैं इन्वायरमेंट के। उसको ओवरकम करने के लिए ह्यूमन बींग्स में डिटर्मिनेशन होता है और स्किल होती है और टेक्नोलॉजिकल नोहा होती है। फॉर एग्ज़ाम्पल, अगर मैं आपको एक वुड दे दूँ जो कि नेचुरल चीज़ है, जो कि इन्वायरमेंट ने हमको दी है, तो क्या वो वुड हमारी यूज़ की है? उसको हमको किसी भी वस्तु में कन्वर्ट करना पड़ता है जिससे हम उसको यूज़ कर सकें। या तो उसको हम फर्नीचर में यूज़ कर सकते हैं या फिर हम उसको एक टूल की तरह यूज़ कर सकते हैं। तो उसको कन्वर्ट करने के लिए ह्यूमन स्किल और नॉलेज, विजडम, ये सब चीज़ों की आवश्यकता होती है, हार्ड वर्क की आवश्यकता होती है। तो अगर हमारे पास ये सारी चीज़ें हैं तो हम नेचुरल रिसोर्सेज को भी कन्वर्ट करके अपने हिसाब से यूटिलाइज कर सकते हैं। तो इसका मतलब यही होता है पॉसिबलिज्म। मतलब देयर आर सो मेनी पॉसिबिलिटीज़ इन द environment just gives you the resources, but we have to use it according to our abilities and the skills, and we have to convert it into something useful. So, nature provides us with opportunities and possibilities, but man utilizes those opportunities and possibilities according to his culture, knowledge, traditions, level of socio-economic development, technological know-how. So, man is just not the product of his environment. Nature cannot rule over man completely. There are some limitations, yet, human beings, through their hard work and intelligence and wisdom and skills, they can convert that difficulty into opportunities. So, man, through his technical skills, can grow bananas, rice, rubber plants in tundra region, also in Greenland and Antarctica. But the cost of production is very high. So, that is again a limitation. So, this theory is a very important theory, yet it is criticized in such a way that despite numerous possibilities that man has created for themselves, yet there are some obstacles which are set by physical factors which cannot be overcome by man. There are different difficulties also which man has to face, which is brought by the nature. So, possibilism is a theory in which basically man is the active agent. He is the most dominating agent, and it says that man, through his mind, through his technical advancements, can change and influence nature around him. So, nature provides us with opportunities, but it depends upon human beings which opportunity to choose and which not to choose, and how to utilize that opportunity. So this theory was supported by Lucian Pfeffer. Pfeffer supported this concept, saying that man, through his wisdom, through his knowledge, through his technical know-how, skills, he can change the environment according to himself. Man is the most powerful and active agent of this environment. Man can modify the environment according to himself. So a lot of changes which are happening on the earth's surface is because of man's ability to change it. Supposedly, the environment provides us with lots of raw materials like minerals, rocks, okay, like gold, silver, platinum, iron, copper. But man is the one who converts the raw material into resources according to his needs and requirements. So, whatever tools and equipments that man makes, that satisfy its needs and requirements. So that is how it is bringing environment changes according to his abilities and according to his wisdom, and as well as technological skills and advancements. Vidal Lablache was also the one who advocated this concept. He also preached the philosophy of possibilism, and he tried to say that even if you study two groups which are living in the same environmental conditions, but they are totally different. Why? This is not because of the environmental conditions. The environmental conditions are completely the same. Suppose in India, it's a tropical country, but there are so many different kinds of cultures, religion, languages, and so many food habits. People have adapted themselves in different conditions in different ways, and the amount of development was also different in different parts of the same country. The country is the same, but there are so many variations. Why this is happening? Because man, through his own will, wisdom, knowledge, as well as his own understanding, can adapt himself accordingly. So, even if the environmental conditions are the same, yet the values, the attitudes, the culture, knowledge, everything depends upon man himself. The technological advancements and the progress and the development, all that depends upon human beings themselves. This is the meaning of possibilism. One of the important things that Sawyer said was that wheat does not have high yield where it was first domesticated. So, wheat was first domesticated in Southwest Asia, but now it is mostly grown in America, Europe, and some parts of Asian countries. Why? Because it does not depend upon the environmental conditions. Moreover, it depends upon man, his will, his technological know how, his willingness to cultivate wheat in those conditions where wheat is not supposedly possible. But we are still growing those crops in those regions where the physical environment is not supportive, yet we are making it more supportive. In the 1950s, there was a new concept which was developed specially by Griffith Taylor. Griffith Taylor was an Australian geographer and traveler. He had traveled far and wide and had also studied a lot of problems which Australia faced. His theory was in between the two concepts of determinism as well as possibilism. So, according to Griffith Taylor, man is like a traffic controller. So, according to Griffith Taylor, basically what happens is that the best economic progress happens in those countries where the environmental conditions are favorable. According to him, he says that environmental conditions are very important for man's growth. But apart from the environment, man is also an important agent. Man is like a traffic controller. It depends upon him to accelerate or to go slow or to stop the progress. So it also depends upon man in which direction he wants to go and how he wants to utilize the environment. So both the environment as well as man are very important. None of the concept can remain without each other. Therefore, his theory is also called as stop and go determinism. So, it's a new concept. So, in this situation, basically, both the things are important, the environment also, as well as the condition of man to be free and willingly utilizing the environment and progressing accordingly.